Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be a needle tatting tutorial. Some of the items that you will need is some number 10 cotton thread. I am using orange and brown for this little pumpkin earring. You also will need a pair of scissors, potentially a needle threader, depending on how well you do threading a needle. Some jewelry pliers. My jewelry pliers is part of a snap-on kit that I have. You'll also need either a post earring with the back and a jump ring, or you will need a some type of hanging earring piece of jewelry, whether it be like fishhook style or a post or even a clip-on. You can do it that way as well. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to show you how I made this pumpkin earring, which I have hanging on a post. So it's got a little stem there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set that little pumpkin out of the way. Starting with my orange thread and my second to the largest of my tatting needles here. Which, if you have this case by Handy Hands, you will be using a number 5 needle. The main thing you want to go with is your needle and thread are relatively the same size. So I'm going to go ahead and get my needle and thread prepared, and I will be right back with you to work up this pattern. All right, let's start the pumpkin with about 12 to 18 inches, something like that, of tail thread. We're going to go ahead and start with 6 double stitches. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to create a picot. This picot is going to be super small. We just need it enough so that way we can pull some thread through it. So a little picot and 6 more double stitches. Three, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to pull your needle and tail thread almost all the way through, creating a reserved loop here at the end, just enough so that way you can pull your needle and tail thread from behind through it. And now go ahead and cinch it down close to form a ring here. Turn your work like you're turning the page of a book and place a knot. Now we're going to do some arches. The first arch and the second arch are going to be 10 double stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And with the arch, you pull your tail thread all the way through. That's going to bring us back around to where our picot is. You're going to bring your needle and tail thread through that picot from the back to the front, bringing that arch around your ring. Just like such. Go ahead and place a knot. Now we're going to do those same 10 double stitches one more time and meet back up to the top of our ring on the other end. So 10 more double stitches. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, pull your tail thread all the way through, curving around back to the other end of your ring. And now we're going to bring our needle and tail thread from behind right through the bottom of your ring. You're going to want to get into the stitch there. Go ahead and pull that needle and tail thread all the way through. Now you're going to turn your work over just like the page of a book and place a knot. Now we're going to do another set of arches. This time the arches will be 14 double stitches. So 14. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just like before, you're going to pull your needle and tail thread all the way through, and it's going to bring you back around to your picot. All right, so it's going to bring you back around to your picot. Once again, you're going to find that picot and bring your needle and tail thread through the picot from back to front, bringing that arch all the way around. You may have to adjust your stitches a hair and place a knot. Now we're going to do that 14 double stitches one more time, bringing us to the other end of our ring. Two, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Once again, pull your needle and tail thread all the way through, and it automatically turns you all the way around to the other end. And we're going to go into the top of our arch first stitch join here between the arch and the ring, so it matches the other side. Pulling that through, and now I'm going to turn my work over, place a knot, cut away from my ball, and sew in my ends. And to sew in your ends, you're just going to go in the direction that your thread is naturally going at that point, which is to this last arch. And you're going to work your needle down into those double stitches. a little ways. Pull your needle and tail thread through all of them double stitches. I like to snug it up a little bit and then snip away. And that way, when I adjust this arch back to its shape, that little bit of tail that was left is now gone and inside those double stitches. Then I will do the same thing with this tail as well. I will cut just a small piece, and now I will go down into some double stitches over here with my needle, thread this little tail in, pull it through, snip away from it, and that'll be the end of that. Then we'll move on into adding the top to our pumpkin at this same end that we just finished on. Okay, so for this part, it doesn't take much tail thread at all. We're only doing a little tiny bit at the very top of the pumpkin. So, you know, 6 to 8 inches of tail thread at the most. And once you have your needle laced, we're going to go all the way out here to where we left off, where we tied our last knot and sewed in the ends. Insert your needle and thread through. Go ahead and place your needle on top of your work and do 2 double stitches. So 1 and 2. Now you're going to pull your needle and tail thread through. And you're going to insert your needle into the very center of that ring. So where it joins together here at the bottom. Pull your needle and tail thread all the way through. Again, we're going to place our needle on top of our work and do 2 double stitches. Just 1 and 2. Pull your needle and tail thread all the way through. Now we're going to go just over to this first arch past the ring and insert your needle to the top of it and pull your tail thread through. Again, place your needle on top of your work and do 2 double stitches. 1 and 2. Pull your needle and tail thread all the way through. And we're going to come up from the back side of this last arch here at the very top. Insert your needle and tail thread through from the back side. Pull it all the way through. All right, at this point, you're going to turn your work over. Place a knot. And now we're going to work an arch of 4 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull your needle and tail thread all the way through. We're going to reach over and into the space between our first set of double stitches and our second set of double stitches. We're going to insert our needle in there. and pull that tail thread all the way through. Okay, now you're going to turn your work over and place a knot. And now we're going to create the stem. The little stem is going to be 6 double stitches. So place your needle on your work and do 6 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull your needle and tail thread all the way through. And at this point, turn your work over, place a knot, sew in your ends, cutting away from your ball and tail thread. Once you've sewn in your ends, I will meet back up with you and we'll connect the earring jewelry. Okay, so at this point, this is what you have. You have yourself a nice little tiny pumpkin, and we're going to connect our jump ring and our post. So I'm going to set that down for a moment and pick up my jump ring, separating it out so I can connect all the dots. So once you have your jump ring open, in that little arch that you made 4 double stitches, that's where you're going to place your jump ring. Just right into that little bitty arch there. Then you're just going to place your ear wire or post or whatever type of earring piece that you decide to use, and close up your jump ring. Now for extra security, you can use a little bit of jewelry glue over the top of, this is Jewel-It Embellish Glue, over the top of your opening, because no matter how much you try, you're still going to have a little bit of an opening on your jump ring, and your items could fall off. So to ensure that they don't, I generally will put a little dab of glue on there, let it dry, and then move it so that way it is hidden. Then I'll put my earring back on it. And now I have a set of tatted pumpkin earrings for the fall. Now I will dip these into some heavy liquid starch and allow them to air dry fully before wearing them. All right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this tatting tutorial, and be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, everyone, bye for now.